Hey everybody, and thank you for tuning into this video today. The reason I'm making this video is because okay, let's try this again. I found out yesterday that a good friend of mine died. I didn't know what happened. I got the text from a friend and it really kind of shook me. I didn't know how to handle it at first, but once I started thinking about it more and processing it a little bit more, it just made me feel really sad and really down. And I know she has been struggling for a long time, and we've been pretty disconnected for about 2 years now, but the last real conversation that we had was in January of 2019, 2 years ago. It was about the time that I was launching my first ebook called 21 Days to Quiet Your Inner Bully, about how to take away or how to override the negative voices in your head and kind of fix all of these things that are going on in your head. And she reached out to me and she asked for information on that book. And she was like, I really need help. Like, a lot's going wrong in my life right now and I'll literally try anything. And I tried to be there for her in the best way that I can. And I told her I didn't want her to suffer forever. And that was kind of the end of that, despite a couple of conversations here or there. I knew she hadn't been herself for a while. I never honestly expected this to happen. She was 21 years old. Her birthday's in October. I've known her for 8 years. She was my first and only girlfriend that I've ever had. And we've had a lot of fun memories. We've honestly had a lot of fun memories growing up in high school. After school on a Friday, I would get out of volleyball practice. We'd all meet up and we'd just drink whatever, and we'd be wandering the streets, having a good time, going to parties, all this stuff. We would sneak out, go to these parks, and we're really just trying to navigate what it means to be a young adult growing up in this day and age. We all did things we shouldn't have done. We all, made mistakes growing up. We all learned hard lessons. And, as many of you know, the hardest lesson I ever learned was recovering throughout the recovery process of my eating disorder. And just to know that I was able to find it in me to recover and go on to be passionate about health and wellness, self-development, and really create something for myself until I'm as happy as I could be. Just to know that on the opposite end of the spectrum, there are people out there who don't get that possibility is crazy to me. It's crazy. It makes me think and get really reflective and think, why do I get to recover? Why do I get to figure all of these things about my life out and not have to suffer? Meanwhile, somebody else doesn't get that chance and they don't get to live a full life because they never figure out a way to heal or to find it. And now she doesn't even get to live a life. This life was not what she thought it was going to be. A friend of mine killed herself. And, I know some people can relate to this, and, a lot of people have experienced a lot of death, but it's when you're a kid, when you're a kid, everything is so innocent, and you don't know about all of these things unless, of course this is speaking pretty generally, but you're so innocent and naive to what happens when you grow up. But then as you grow older, people start dying and people start getting hurt and injured and killed and all of these terrible things. And the fact that it's happening to young people that you would never have expected. I grew up with this girl. She's not the only person I grew up with that I know of that died, but it hit me because you used to think that these crazy things only happen on the news or somewhere else, but then you grow up and realize that they're happening all around you and you never know who's going to make it to a certain age. But who is deciding that I get to live on and be this teacher and this preacher of health and wellness and advocate for mental health, but then somebody else just doesn't get that chance and never has the opportunity to live a real life anymore because she's gone. Like, it just makes me really reflective, and it sucks because it's not so much that like I miss our friendship. I do miss our friendship, but it's more so like it pains me to know that somebody is hurting so bad. Like the pain they must have been going through the moments before they did that. That's not okay with me. And it really put things in perspective for me because I know that there's a superficial part of business, like we have to make money, we have to like do this, do that, I want this house, I want like whatever, but it brought me back to my roots and knowing that I need to be there for people and help people because there are people who are alive and they are struggling and they don't know a way out, but they don't always vocalize it. And maybe they do, and people don't pick up on those cues, but there's people out there who need help and they need support and they need somebody to believe in them and they need resources. And that's always what brings me back to my why of being so passionate about what I'm passionate about. I know through struggling with my eating disorder that I wasn't the only one going through that. And it was terrible. It put me through a dark place I thought I would never get out. And now that I've learned, I'm going on to create this course to help other people who are struggling with their relationship with their bodies and body image and food and never feeling good enough and always comparing themselves to other people, so on and so forth. And I just know there's so many people out there that need help, and it sucks. I'm so, Emily, I'm so sorry this happened to you, and I wish there was something more that could have been done. I wish more people knew that you were struggling for this long and helped you when you needed it. You were always this light. You were always sarcastic and fun and there for people. And now nobody gets to see that anymore. But I know for a fact that your life will live on in all of our memories because you left an incredible, deep, meaningful impact on so many lives. And I hope that you know that you are no longer suffering anymore. You're no longer in pain anymore. And I'm sorry that life wasn't what you thought it was going to be. I will be there in support with everybody else who knew you and everybody else who you impacted at the ceremony tonight. But I'm sorry that nobody could help you in the way that you needed when you were struggling and all you wanted was help. You reached out for help. I am feeling really reflective and I'm feeling really, grateful for having recovered and having gone on to help other people, but I'm also feeling really guilty because I don't know who out there, what energy, what source, God, I don't know, decides who gets to be taken home early and who doesn't. I don't know. And I just want you to know that I love you and your story lives on and you will live on and nobody will forget about you. We can't. And I hope we can all come together and put our differences aside to show everybody hurting by this love and support. And everybody else out there who has passed away. Never forgotten. And now you don't have to suffer anymore. So I just wanted to say this message and get it off my chest. It wasn't what I thought was going to be the video for today, but I love you all. Give love to the people who are alive today that are still willing to receive your love. And, one day we will meet again. So show love to people while you can. I'll see you guys on Thursday.